Hi, everybody. It's Adam. It's Monday, so here is your minister's moment. Yesterday was Mother's Day, a day that we take to honor our moms and to make sure that they know how much we love them and appreciate them and how much we need their love in our lives. If you had a chance to hang out with your mom yesterday, it's great. I know I did. Got a chance to hang out with my mom. We're going to hang out with Diana's mom next week. It's a good time to get together if you can. Not everybody has that opportunity or ability. Prayers for those of you who can't and don't have that opportunity to meet with your moms for one of a myriad of reasons. But let's talk about moms for a second. When I think of moms, I can't help but think of love. It just comes naturally for them. They love us unconditionally. They love us in our hurts, in our anger, in our defiance, in our rebellions. They're always there for us. And I think about how a lot of times we take that for granted, or we define love in so many different ways in our culture today. We talk about how we love our moms and our moms love us. But we also talk about like how, oh man, I love that car, or oh, I love that movie, or man, I love pizza. And we don't mean, hopefully, that we love them at the same kind of level as we do our moms or our moms love us. It's just the kind of thing that we say. We don't have a real, a different way of expressing love except for adding on adjectives and different kind of things in the English language. But when you look at the Greek New Testament specifically, see, the Greek language had no less than 7 different words that we translate as love in English today. Now, not all of them are used in the Bible. Only about 5 of them are, but they are the ones that have different meanings. We call the city of Philadelphia the city of brotherly love. Well, the reason for that is that it has a Greek origin. Phileo Delphi means brotherly love, city. Okay, so phileo is a brotherly kind of love. You hear about agape a lot. Agape is that the highest love. It is the godly kind of love, the love that is typically described that God has for us. And you find it in some interesting places. The first thing comes to mind is the story of Jesus having a conversation with Peter after Jesus' resurrection, when the disciples find Jesus after going some fishing, and Jesus walks off with Peter a little bit. And in the English, all you hear is, Jesus asked Peter, do you love me? And Peter says, Lord, I do. I love you. And the second time, Jesus asks Peter, do you love me? Peter says, Lord, of course, I love you. And the third time, Jesus says, Peter, do you love me? And it says that, Peter was very distraught, that, brokenhearted, that Jesus would ask him the third time, do you love me? What it doesn't come across in the English is the first time Jesus asks Peter, he says, Peter, do you agape me? And Peter says, Lord, I phileo you. So the second time Jesus asks Peter, do you agape me? And Peter again replies, Lord, I phileo you. And then the third time, Jesus looks at Peter and says, Peter, do you phileo me? And that's when Peter gets brokenhearted, because Peter wasn't ready to commit to that level of love just yet, it seems like, in that context. And and when Jesus asks him the third time, do you really love me like a brother? That's when Peter is like, yeah, okay, I get the point. Jesus uses that language to make a point. In the New Testament, in the context of husbands, love your wives. Husbands, agape your wives. We have to be commanded to do that. It doesn't come naturally for us typically. It also talks about 1 Corinthians 13. These 3 remain, faith, hope, and love. And the greatest of these is agape. And then there's Matthew chapter 5, verse 44, where Jesus on the Sermon on the Mount says, love your enemies. That's agape. Let us do what we can in this time of frustration and in this time of social distancing, and whenever we get the opportunity to interact with somebody, let us agape them. Now, they don't have to be an enemy for us to agape them, obviously, but may we spread the love that we tend to associate with our moms, that motherly kind of love, that unconditional love, that love that loves us in our rebellion, in our anger, in our frustration, and not, that love that comes across not depending on how we are acting, but that love that is always there. I love you. I agape you. Let's do what we can to spread some agape in this culture, in this world right now, with everybody that we run across, with everybody that we interact with. And let's do what we can, social distancing in mind, do what we can to agape the people around us. And because the greatest of these is agape. Love you guys. See you next time.